Hello everybody. Today I'm doing a video on this XTC Power Products plug and play turn signal system. This is for a Honda Pioneer 1000. This is for my brand new 2023 Trail Edition Pioneer here, and I'm getting it street legal for Oklahoma. But there's video on here that says that these are super duper easy kits to install, and all you need is a screwdriver and some patience or whatever. This guy says that his camera failed during install and now he's just recapping, and well, he's full of it. There's no way to do this with just a screwdriver and some patience. You need a professional wire fish, this is a professional wire fish. You could probably do it with a coat hanger, but I wouldn't suggest it. Because you have to fish. So I'll go ahead and give you the rundown. It all starts back at this back corner of the UTV. My UTV, I took all the back fenders and doors and all that crap off for a different install for a Super ATV bumper, which is right here. But I decided, well, when I'm doing that, I'm just going to leave it all off because it'll make it easier to do the turn signal kit. So that's why all my stuff's disassembled. But to be honest with you, I don't know any other way to do it without taking all this crap off of here. The reason I say that is just routing the wire the proper way. You got to take these screws loose and bend this up to get it over the cross members where the factory harness goes, and to keep it from binding with this bed as you tilt it up and down. To get from this side to this side, you got to take that part, and the only way to get that up, because this part is covered when you go to bend it, is to take off these plates. I don't know that you can bend around it. Maybe you can, I don't know. I'll know when I put it back together. I'm just recapping because this is where I'm at, and I want to let everybody know it's not as easy as this guy makes it out to be. So you start there and you follow. That's one of the first places I was telling you it has to go underneath. Or in between that bed and the frame. Then you follow that sucker. Let me see if I can get this to light up. Then you follow that harness all the way down the UTV. Oops. You can't see it. Well, let's see if I can get a better angle here. So that goes all the way down that harness. The next thing you got to do, the instructions say, is that you want to remove the skid plate, the front skid plate, which I did because there's no way to do it without it. And then you got to reach up underneath there. Let me pause it and I'll get my creeper and roll underneath there and show you how it's routed. Hold on. All right, everybody, we're underneath here. This is that little flap that was hanging down from the side. And we're able to look down in here, and that's the wire that runs down along the casing. I have mine zip tied to that wire, as you see there. And you want to make sure you get a good zip tie and get it away from that engine. You don't want to get burned. So then you follow that master harness up and around, because you don't want it to rub on your transmission or any of that stuff. So it's coming up and around, piggybacking that big harness, back down around, staying with the harness, going behind that air box. And this is when you need the fish, because you have to be able to, gosh, man, I can't get this thing to flip right. Sorry, this freaking phone is just nuts. So then you got to fish that bad boy up from here. And there is no way to fit your arm in this little hole to fish the cable coming from the back of the vehicle up into the engine bay. So the first fish is from here up around the top of the brake lines, you see that's that air filter. You can't really see it because it's kind of in between the brake control block, distribution block, and the air tube. It's kind of like down in there is where it's at. But that's the first fish you got to do. And that's like about a foot rise, 12-inch rise, maybe 6, 8, I don't know. It's between a foot and a half a foot, 6 inches to rise. And I don't know how you're going to finagle that cord up there without a real fish. Then the second deal, or what you grab this, it's fish, there it is right there. That's a better angle. Showing you coming out on the other side of that air box. There's your distribution block, the other side of it. And there's the wire it's piggybacked onto. That is your transmission cable shift line, is what this is. Your detent cable, I guess is the technical term for that. And then the next fish is from this. Let me go ahead and fold that back down because, well, that doesn't need to be out. But the next fish is from that location up to the back of here, because that firewall port, as you see it goes in and curls back, that's like back behind the battery down there, and there's no way to get your arm back up in there, so you got to fish there to pull that up. Then your next two fishes is going to be for your turn signals, so you got to fish from there, you see, because you don't want this hasn't been all tied off, but it's going to get tied off and zip tied up into so. Way up in here, like you see that wire up there, well, it's going to get zip tied up there. That's how I'm going to do it. But these are the turn signal wires. You got to drill the holes for these. So you have to drill. I don't know what he means about, a screwdriver. You have to at least drill. And I suggest doing painter's tape on top of there. So then you fish that wire, and that comes up along here. That's this one. And then you do the same thing for this corner and fish it. That's coming out right here. Sorry for the cluster of crap, but I zip tied. What I did is I used a push rivet for the horn here, and then I zip tie around here to the back frame to keep the horn in a free floating area so it's not rubbing on anything as I'm 4x4ing. And then the module is zip tied. I haven't cut the little deals there because I haven't cleaned up the engine bay yet. I zip tied it to the master harness. And then as far as that wire goes, this is how I'm gonna, you can go directly to the battery if you want, but I want it on the switch so it's not a parasitic draw. I don't know if this would cause a parasitic draw, but it's a general rule with electronics. You want to go through the fuse block if you can, especially if it's key controlled. But what we're going to tap into is those pink wires down in there. Either one, doesn't matter. And then the black and blue is the other side of pole position 5, which is your 15 amp accessory. But it's not black and white. There's no black and white wires in there anywhere. Those 2 white wires are solid white, or 3 solid white wires, whatever they are. They're not black and white anywhere. So anyways, I got the real manual, and the real manual shows, there you go. There's the 2 pink wires, P and P, on the 15 amp accessory, and then the blue and the black are your ground. Besides that, that's pretty much the rundown. But this is not a quick job. This is not a 2-hour job. This is several hours. You got to zip tie the hell out of it. You got to keep it out of the way of getting chafed or freaking burned or caught. And so it's not just put it wherever you want. You got to route that wire correctly. And if you do not, you could have problems with chafing and shorts and everything else. This is an off-road vehicle. So I just don't know how in the world you could do this without a professional wire fish and your time and patience. Popping in the new turn signal and hazard switches will be there for mine. See them there. But anyways, if anybody has any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to answer the best of my abilities. It's been a real circus though. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.